Yeah, a very good evening to all the participants of the session. I'm Mr. Midun Chakravarti, Assistant Professor of Sociology, VET Institute of Arts and Science, Europe, and I'll be your host for today's program. I take honor in welcoming Thiru S.D. Chandrasekhar, our Secretary, Thiru Balu C. and Thiru Vivaraja, advisors and executive members, Dr. Saravanan, our Principal, Dr. Shakila Matthew, Dean of Academics, Mr. Lokesh Kumar S., Administrative Officer, heads of various departments and colleagues, post bearers of Keerthi, the Students' Union, and dear students to the program. I'm also much honored to welcome the guest of this session, Ms. Ujjayinee Roy, playback singer known for associations with A.R. Rahman and Harris Jayaraj. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now I welcome Dr. Saravanan, our principal, to present the post bearers of Keerthi, the Students' Union, and carry forth the investiture ceremony.
A very good evening. I take this opportunity to welcome the management, Dean of Academics, Administrative Officer, distinguished guests, heads of his departments, members of faculty, students and parents on the special occasion of investiture ceremony of our institution. I would now read out the post bearers for the academic year 2021. President Nikita Kumari Radhi, second BCom. Vice President Ashwini D, first BA English Literature. General Secretary Tarunesh MR. Fine Arts Secretary Lokaprabha, second BA Sociology. Sports Secretary Kavi Parameswari, second BCom. Literary English Sweta M, English Literature. SALS Sociology Mukesh Khanna, second Sociology. Dravya Kamosh Abhishek Kumar, BCom CA. UVS Tamil Mandram Arini V, second BA Sociology. Amiya Mathematics Kushi V, second BCom CA. BBA Nandakishore Putra, first BBA. Computer Science Kanmani, first BSc Computer Science. NSS Saran S. YRC Srija. Sports Kavi Parameshwari. Rotary Pavitra S. Fine Arts Lokaprabha. Arts and Craft Kavyasri. Agri and Environmental Club Priyanka. Aesthetics Kamalisha. First Aid and Pharmacy Vaishnavi. Photography, Movie and Design Akil. Consumer Clubs Shubha Shani Anisham. Entrepreneurship and Forum for Industry Interaction Ilanjalian BCom. Dear August gathering, I shall now proceed with the much anticipated oath taking ceremony now. For the post bearers, I will ask you all to repeat as I say. I solemnly affirm in the name of God on this auspicious Saturday, the 21st of August 2020, at the esteemed VET Institute of Arts and Science, that I will serve the institution and my fellow student friends sincerely. I will endeavor to be perfect role model in academics, discipline, and cultural. I will actively take part in the institution activities and endeavor to bring laurels and glory to it. As a member of the union, I will uphold loyalty to the traditions and ethos of the institution. I vow that I will do my best do the best to maintain the discipline and harmonious integrity among students and carry out all the duties entrusted to me as per the guidance of the management, the union association in charges, and the members of faculty effectively. Thank you. I now ask all the students of BE Division of Arts and Science to repeat the students' pledge as I say. I solemnly affirm in the name of the God on this auspicious Friday, the 21st of August 2020, at the esteemed BE Institute of Arts and Science, that I shall, during and at the intake of the course, metamorphose into mature professional and merge with the professional managed fraternity all over the world. I shall earnestly strive to develop a professional discipline. I hereby state that I have read and understood the code of conduct, and I promise you to abide by the rules and regulation of this institution and safeguard the motto: educate, evaluate, empower. Thank you. I wish all the members of the Students Union to begin their voyage with the motto and vision of our founders and the management with the manifesto of good luck, inspiration, perspiration, collaboration, and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I wish all the post bearers a wonderful and fruitful experience. Now, the much awaited segment of the day, the musical show with Miss Ujjayinee Roy. Ujjayinee Roy is a singer, songwriter, actor, educator, dancer, columnist, ex-radio jockey, and poet. She has been the voice behind numerous songs in mainstream Indian music, film music, and sung in Tamil, Hindi, Assamese, Kannada, Malayalam, and Telugu films, and has worked with various Indian music directors like A.R. Rahman, Haris Jayaraj, Devi Sri Prasad, Yuvan Shankar Raja, M.G. Sri Kumar, and many more. She has also lent her voice for numerous jingles, ad films, and voice-overs, and also sung in various foreign languages. She started her musical journey at the age of 3 when she began training in Hindustani classical music. Her journey into the world of music and dance began in the small northeastern city of Agartala. Ujjayini turned professional at the age of 7 when she started performing in All India Radio and Doordarshan Kendra. Meanwhile, she also started performing in classical and non-classical music concerts. After training in Hindustani classical music for 20 years, Ujjayini entered the Indian playback industry. She later also started performing various other genres of music like Western classical and opera, jazz and blues, rock, fusion, Sufi, folks, ghazals, etc., traveling in India as well as in other countries. Ujjayini has also released various original compositions and collaborated with numerous Indian and international artists of repute. She has been seen in various television series and films as an actor. Ujjayini has also performed Bharatanatyam in various sabhas and festivals and was a radio jockey and producer with Radio Mirchi. As an educator, she has taught Hindustani classical music at the Swarnabhumi Academy of Music in Chennai and currently teaches at True School of Music in Mumbai. She resides between the two cities of Chennai and Mumbai, where she performs and teaches music. Now, dear ma'am, we are all awaiting a performance from you before we begin with any discussion. Shall we?
I, I was thinking that let's break the ice a little and then start talking, and then eventually the singing happens.
Yes.
That
Yes, ma'am.
probably
Your
would
choice, ma'am.
be once we start talking, and then probably it would be a little easier. I think.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, we have few questions from the students. So
Yeah.
they have posted some questions. So I'll ask the one by one, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you say a few words about Tamil Nadu and Tamil people? How is the connection with Tamil Nadu and Tamil people?
I have been in Tamil Nadu and especially in Chennai. I have lived here in Chennai since 2003. I moved to Chennai from Bangalore. I did my MBA in Bangalore and I was also singing and working there. And then from there, I moved to Chennai in 2003. And since then, I have lived here. I speak the language. I have sung in various films in this place. I have worked in movies and television and web series in this state. I mean, this is home for me. What what can I say about my home? I connect. I mean, there's never been an issue with connecting I mean, when I came here in 2003, obviously it was different for me because the language was different, the culture was different. But the thing is, I mean, it's home now for me. Do you think say anything specifically about your home? You don't, right? Because you just that's
Yes,
just
ma'am.
yeah, it's
And
just
what about
accepted.
yes, ma'am. And what about Tamil audience? So how much they love you, they have shown to you?
Well, one thing is that the you know no matter what we say, I mean, if I have to be very honest about things, this country is language seems to be a huge division in this country. Uh, and I have always said whether I work with in the southern part of India or I work anywhere else, I've always said that if you get out of the barriers of language, skin color, race, and caste system, you will see that there is just one thing which makes us tick or makes us stand together. It's just that we all belong to the same country, and we all are just human beings. Our aspirations, our dreams, our fears, uh, they're all the same. Actually, if you look at it, when I came here and I in 2003, and I wanted to enter the playback industry. The fears that I had at that point of time, the insecurities that I had, it is the same that anybody who goes from here to say a place like Calcutta or a place like Delhi or a place like Bombay, trying to fit in there and trying to get a corporate job there or any other job over there. It's the same thing. It's just that the industries are different and certain things regarding each industry is different. Otherwise, I think we're all same.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So we move on to the second question. Ma'am, at age 3, you started your journey. Who was your inspiration?
My mother. My mother is one of the strongest women that I have met. She's also a poet and a writer and a sociologist. So she was my biggest inspiration because she was the one person who said, learn everything and then decide what is that you want to do with your life. So she made me go through this, and it's a very typical thing of Bengali families. The kids that grow up in Bengali families, they will go through a training in music, most of them, right? Music, dance, theater. You will see most of them write something or the other. They write poetry or they write stories and painting. So I did go through all these things together, and then there was sports as well. So my schedule as a young, school-going student was full. And she told me, "You do everything, and then you decide what is that you like the most." So if I was dancing and singing, actually my music and dance both of them started together when I was 3 years old. I decided that music is something that I related to the most. And though everybody in my family thought I was going to be a dancer, um, but music stuck, and I decided that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life with a formal education, by the way.
Yes, ma'am. That's very much needed.
Very needed, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, apart from Hindustani music, what other music styles you are familiar with? Can
So
you
I,
shed some light?
I was trained formally in Hindustani classical music. After coming to Chennai, the one thing that I found extremely interested in, and also dance also gives me that is the rhythm part of Carnatic music. And I believe that the melody or the art of improvisation of Hindustani classical music married to the rhythm structures of Carnatic music is just it's a very very strong weapon for any musician. And apart from that, I also sing a lot of Western classical music. I sing opera arias. I sing a lot of jazz and blues. I have been part of a metal band, a goth metal band with all the paints and all the the goth look and everything. I also perform in Indian classical music. I perform tumris, semi-classical, light classical like Sufi and ghazals. And so I've covered all the and your regular pop music, which that is there, of course. Plus, I also sing these very typical ethnic styles of music from. There's a style of Mongolian music called Khumei, or throat singing. It's called the two-one throat singing. I do that, and plus I also sing this particular style of music which is there in Sweden and Norway. It's called pull-up. Yeah, so there are quite a few types of music that I do.
Yes, ma'am. This shows how much you love the music.
Of course I
And
do.
music, yes, ma'am. And music is a part of the human civilization since time immemorial, right? So since
Yes,
the time
even,
immemorial, we have this music along with the
and
human being.
you would be surprised to know what is the first form of music. That was just folk music. And I was
Yes,
just teaching in one of my classes the other day, just yesterday in one of my classes. I teach with True School of Music in Bombay, and our entire course has gone online right now. And during that, I was just talking to them about the pentatonic scale, which basically is a scale consisting of 5 notes. Uh, Penta, 5.
right.
And the pentatonic scales can be dated back to almost 50,000 years.
50,000.
50,000 years, yes. And hence came, classical music came much later. But earlier, all that you had was folk music, songs, bards, village bards, poets, village poets, people who traveled from one place to another, with carrying their folk songs that came from folklores or stories that were happening. How did we tell stories before? People went from one place to another. If they witnessed something happening in one place, they carried that story to the next place and told the people of it. And that's how folk music came in. Storytelling, basically.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how supportive is your family in your music career?
Now they are. But when I was very young, my mom actually said that, well, you do whatever that you want to do. If you want to be a musician, be a musician. I actually wanted to be a doctor. My dad is a doctor. He's a surgeon. I wanted to be a doctor. And then later on, we all go through this whole change of thought process. At one point of time, you think, I want to be there. Somebody says, I want to sell vegetables. And then later in life, they realize, nah, maybe I'm going to drive an auto rickshaw. Maybe selling vegetables is not quite that. That's how we change our thought processes. So I wanted to be a doctor. For some reasons, again, non-academic, I would say that I did a BSc in physiology, and then I did an MSc, and then gradually I went for an MBA. I wonder still why I did that. All these different courses, and during that point of time, my dad wasn't quite, he probably also did not understand the fact that music can be such an integral part and can earn you a livelihood. So in Bengali, he told me that আমাদের বাড়ির মেয়েরা গান গায় শুধু বাড়িতে শোনাবার জন্য, স্টেজের জন্য, which means that women in our family, they learn music just to entertain the guests or sing at home, not to perform on stage as a profession. But I stuck to my guns. It was quite difficult trying to explain my dad that this is what I wanted to do, but my mom was very supportive. Later in life, I think many, many years later, I had this constant conflict about my profession, because I had a corporate job. Mind you, I did have a full-fledged corporate job after I finished my MBA. But I was somehow not, quite happy. It was like getting up in the morning and going for my work was a very tedious thing, because obviously if you ask me to go to the studio and record a song, I'd be like, yay, when can I go, right? But I was not quite enjoying that job. And as I said, there was a constant conflict. My last job, which was with the Times Group, when I was working with Radiometry. Radiometry is run by a subsidiary of Times Group called ENIL, Entertainment Network India Limited. When I was working with them, that was the job I enjoyed the most because it was a creative job. I think after I quit that, I had a concert here in 2007 with Rahman at the YMCA grounds. And I had just gone through a surgery also before that, just 2 days before the concert. And my dad had come down here for the surgery. And I told him that, I'm performing here, why don't you come along with me? And my dad went, and I think my mom was also there, not quite sure, it's too long back. It was at that concert in 2007 that he actually understood the, how big or how far I had come. Before that, I don't think he had quite an idea or what was happening, right? Because he's a surgeon. He comes from a different thing, and I guess music was just for listening to him. As having somebody in the family was not quite that he, related to. In that concert, he, after the concert, when everybody, the people in the audience were coming and singing, and that at the point of time, Aragya Tamil Mugan had just released. So it must have been 2008, if I'm not wrong. And people came and talked to me and spoke to me and all of that. And my dad asked me, do you know these guys? Do you know these people you're talking to? And I said, no, Dad, I don't know that. They like my work, they're fans who are just coming and congratulating me. And that's, I think, the time that he realized that, the bulb just goes on, blink like that. It took him many years to understand the humongous size or the process that it takes, the hard work that you have to put in, and you have to stick to it. You have to be consistent with it. So now, yes, absolutely, whether it's my career as an actor or a singer, educator, dancer, whatever it is, I just do whatever that you want to do that makes you happy. They also probably sometimes don't get the fact that this is an unconventional profession that I have, which does not give me an HRA, a provident fund, no medical insurance that the company gives me. It used to give me at one point of time, now it doesn't. I have to do these things on my own. So that was another insecurity, as happens in most families. That and I'm sure a lot of your students would also have to go through this at some point of their life when they decide to take up an unconventional job, and these things will be put in front of them, saying that your profession will not provide you with this. But if you want to do something special and if you want to make a mark, you have to take the hard way. There is no rose-strewn, easy paths through this. It is extremely hard.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you have worked with A.R. Rahman and Haris Jayaraj. How was your experience with these two legends?
Very nice, actually. I'll first talk about, actually, my first musical journey started with Mr. Bharadwaj. I think you guys know who he is. It started with him, and at that point of time, I did not speak a word of Tamil. Mr. Bharadwaj also speaks fluently in Hindi because he's from Delhi. So that was another, I was extremely young when I came into Chennai, and he kind of mentored me. He was like a father figure for me, still is. He mentored me. He's the one who taught me the specifics of Tamil, like the ir, which a lot of Tamilians wouldn't be able to pronounce it correctly. They all say ir. The nuances of Tamil is what he taught me. Sitting across the table when we were working for a film called Attagasa. There's a song called Nachendu Richondu that I sang for the first song, and then I also did the title track of Attagasa. And then A.R. Rahman happened many years later, and working with both with Haris and Mr. Rahman is, different experiences. So when I went into the studio to work with Mr. Rahman, I was a little stressed. You also have to mention about when it comes to working under stress, nobody can, ignore Jayaraj. That is what I call working under stress. Uh, that was also there again, full stressed up situation. But when I started working with Mr. Rahman, especially my first song was Aragam. So, and I gradually started chilling out, and I realized that whatever ideas I also have about what I'm doing today is getting accepted. So when you as an artist and your techniques or your styles get accepted by your boss of the day, who's the music composer, so you obviously feel very confident about it. About Harris, he has a special place in my heart. I worked with him actually not on Helena first. We worked on some other stuff also before. Nandita was one of the movies that I worked with him. And so I have a thing for audio gear because I work also on various softwares and understand a little bit about sound and audio. So we generally have discussions and all that. Working with Harris is always super, super cool because he's extremely chilled out. During when we were recording Helena for Even Mudan, the man just started dancing in the studio, inside his studio after a while. So when he has this the studio that he started, it is his new studio next to his house. It's a beautiful place called Studio H, and he actually personally took me around. I think his son was also there when he opened the studio, even before I think recordings had started. So he took me around, said, "Okay, I have this here, I have this here." Super excited, like a little boy who's got a new toy. Took me around and we discussed, like showed me the room where he would record all sessions, as in with full setups of 75 musicians, 80 musicians, vocal studios, mixing rooms, all of that. And during working of Helen, and also I did something else after that also, other stuff. It's extremely, I love working with him. I do enjoy working with both of them actually.
Yes, ma'am. Can you sing few lines? Few lines.
No, which one?
Your favorite song, ma'am, from either from A.R. Rahman or Harry Shearer's songs. Your choice,
Actually,
ma'am.
either of them?
Yes, ma'am. Both of them. I would be. We would be happy if you sing both of the songs.
Okay. So. നീനാദസ്വരം പോലെ വന്നാ നീനാദസ്വരം പോലെ വന്ന നവിക്കമലന്നാണോ നീയഴസ്വരം പോലെ വന്ന എട്ടസ്വരം നാണോ എട്ടസ്വരം വളയപ്പട്ടി തവിളേ തവിളേ ചുവൽ വത്തി മൈക്കമവളേ മവളേ கடிச்சுமிக்கு போட்டு மயிலே மயிலே இந்த மாயாக்கரியே மாயாக்கரியே. What else do you want?
Yes, ma'am. Harry Shearer's song, ma'am.
Helena.
Helena.
Helena. Hello, hello, Helena. Hello, Helena. Helena, hello, hello, Helena. Gazana. Gaza, gaza, gazana. Gaza, 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 gazana. I sang in a much lower key for that song. Oh my God, that was another thing. So the key of the song, Christopher and Ajay sang in the next octave. So I'm singing in the very low octave. So and especially that one. Facebook that part, right? It's very low. It's very low for me. So I told Paris, hey, listen, this is just a little too, this is not my thing. It's like, even if it goes off pitch, it doesn't matter because I want that. I want it in a very normal, as a normal person will sing. So if you hear the song where it's very, very low key, at least for me, and the note just goes down below, and he said, "This is exactly what I want." So, okay, you're the boss. You want that, you keep that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That was very pleasant to listen. Ma'am, you have worked in various film industries across India. Which is your favorite industry, ma'am? And why is it
You
Tamil industry? What is special, ma'am?
I always believe that no matter how great a musician you are, unless you're a good human being, it really doesn't make any difference. Not to me, at least. And most of the people that I have worked with in Tamil Nadu and in Tamil film industry, I would say yeah, they've been extremely, extremely nice, kind, and pleasant people. And even when I've worked in Bombay, also, even people in Bombay, they say that you guys from Tamil Nadu, you guys, as your humility shows in you. No matter how big an artist walks in, you wouldn't even know. As in Hindi, there's a word called tevar, right? That what is also there in Tamil. Uh, Tevar means attitude. कोई तेवर नहीं दिखाता है, which means that nobody throws an attitude there. Everybody in music, when music becomes more important than your ego, that's when you enjoy your art and you become a better artist. And that's what I found here. I mean, obviously, it gave me, my home is here. It gave me recognition for my work. It gave me a name. And people also took a chance with somebody who did not speak the language. Uh, there is, as I said, there is always that hurdle that you have to break when you come from a completely different sensibility of everything, and then you come to a place which is again very different. These are these hurdles you have to break. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of students in your institute who come from various parts of the country, and in these 4 years or 6 years or 2 years, how much ever time that they spend in Europe on campus, there are a lot of cultural and social things that also they have to learn apart from academics, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So Tamil Nadu is, I've always been, you won't believe this, even when I go to work in Bombay, I have a house there as well. Every time I meet a Tamilian, and Bombay is filled with Tamilians, filled, especially the film industry, the audio guys. I cannot even tell you. I mean, I hear Tamil around me, I'm like, I'm home. I am happy. uh, Even if any Tamilian speaks Hindi in Bombay, I make it a point to never talk in Hindi to them. I only speak to them in Tamil. How funny is that? I'm a Bengali who speaks in Tamil to a Tamilian in Bombay. I can easily speak to them in English or Hindi, but it's just that I feel nice about it because I'm like, I think I'm home.
Do you speak
Yeah.
Tamil, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
தமிழ்ல ரெண்டு வார்த்தை ஏதாவது பேசுங்க மேம்.
என்ன பேச? I mean, there are a lot of students who might understand the language. Yeah. So, அதுக்காக நான் English பேசுறேன். Otherwise, I would have, but I chose a neutral language like English that everybody understands.
Yes, ma'am. ஓகே மேம். அப்போ நான் அடுத்த கேள்வி தமிழ்லேயே கேட்குறேங்க மேம். வாட் இஸ் யுவர் ஓகே உங்களுடைய ஃபேவரட் சாங் எதுக்கு மேம் தமிழில்?
Even the song called Meghame Meghame.
மேகமே மேகமே சாங். கேன் யூ ஒரு 2 வரி பாடுறீங்களா?
Okay. I just have to find the lyrics of the song because if I don't want to sing it. And let me find it. I hope you can hear it. Um, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out my Tanpura
Yes,
app here.
ma'am. Yeah.
So,
Or else within that time we can sing some other song, no?
no, I have to concentrate on this one.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
It's a difficult song, right? Can you hear the Tanpura? I don't know. Can you hear the
Yes,
drone
yes,
happening?
yes, ma'am.
தேன்மொழி வீசுதே மேகமே மேகமே பால்நிலா தேடுதே தேகமே தேன்மொழி தேகமே தேன்மொழி வீசுதே மேகமே ஆமினா வீசுதே தந்தில்லா வீணை சுரம் தருமா தனிரி சாரி மதனி சதனி பக தந்தில்லா வீணை சுரம் தருமா புயல்வரும் வீணை மோகத்தில் சுயம்பரமோ ஆபையின் ராகம் சோகங்களோ ஆபையின் ராகம் சோகங்களோ நீரலை போடும் கோலங்களோ மேகமே மேகமே பால்நிலா தேடுதே தேகமே தேன்மொழி வீசுதே மேகமே பால்நிலா தேடுதே. Cannot hear you. I think you're muted.
I'm sorry, ma'am. மேம் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சுங்க மேம் கேட்கறதுக்கு.
நன்றி.
ரொம்ப ப்ளசண்ட்டாக இருந்துச்சுங்க மேம். மேம் மியூசிக் இஸ் கன்சிடர்ட் as a ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பஸ்டர் ஃபார் மெனி. உங்களுடைய ஒப்பீனியன் இதில் என்னங்க மேம்? ஏன்னா நானே வந்து நிறைய இடத்துல ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆகிறப்ப ஒரு மாதிரி லோவாக ஃபீல் பண்ணுறப்ப ஐ யூஸ் டு ஹியர் லாட்ஸ் ஆஃப் சாங்ஸ். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் யூ ஒப்பீனியன்?
உங்களுக்காக அது ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பஸ்டர், எனக்காக இட்ஸ் மை ஜாப். I mean, you know, when you work, when your work is something, an art form, whether it's acting or music or dancing, I don't think you always become very, even if I'm watching something, I'm watching it like a critique. It is very difficult for me to just chill and listen. I'm just going to listen to music. Because, and I'm thinking, oh, what did you do with the audio? What did that person sing here? Or how did this note hit here? Or what's happening with the sound? What special effects did they use? Or how did the camera work happen? What is the screenplay happening? What is the cinematographer thinking in his head when he's shooting this particular scene? Is it a one take shot that goes on for 3 minutes, or is it? I really can't now at this sitting at this current time. I really cannot chill anymore. I'm always just working. Even I'm listening to music or watching a film or watching anybody, dance. I think I'm just working in my head.
Yes, ma'am. And especially after in this lockdown period, songs தான் ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு கம்பெனியனா நிறைய பேருக்கு இருக்குங்க மேம்.
I've been working. I've been working non-stop. Yeah. Work is starting here in Chennai slowly, and thank God for that, because I think you're going to. This is the next thing you want to know. How has this industry been affected? We've been badly affected, I guess. Work has stopped. No shootings are happening. No reportings are happening. I did after, since I came back to Chennai on the 24th of March, and since then there was no studio work, no shootings happening, nothing. Recently, just a week or 1.5 weeks back, I recorded again for a jingle. Again. And it was nice to be back to the studio and just be normal. But our industry has been very badly impacted. Very, very badly. Everywhere. The one good thing that has happened, every cloud has a silver lining. One good thing that has happened is a lot of people are now doing independent music, sitting at home. A lot of, as a friend of mine who works with an audio company, Audio Gears, hardware, they made the biggest sale during the last 4 months, because everybody now wants to have a studio set. I have a studio set. I've always had a studio set. People are buying audio gears now to set up studios or mini workable portable studios, so that they don't have to stop working. They can keep on releasing independent music, their own compositions. In the film industry in India is so strong that to make good amount of money, that is our daily bread and butter, film music. But as a musician, if you ask anybody, they will always say that independent music, my own music, I would like to do my own music. And people are going back to that now with this lockdown. A lot of independent work is happening. I have collaborated with a lot of musicians from India and outside in the last 4 months. As I said, I actually never sat. I'm like completely jam-packed with work. I still have to send videos. I'm releasing one single very shortly. It's my own composition. I have videos to make, which I am already late to send them. So, yeah, the money making, the revenue generation of this industry, entertainment industry, when it comes to revenue generation, it has had a huge impact. Venues have been impacted. But other countries have already started having live performances. I spoke to a friend of mine, a colleague and a friend of mine in France, somebody from Germany, from Netherlands, from Cyprus. They're all working, actually, like before.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you said you have performed, you have created your own jingle. If possible, can you sing some lines?
The jingle, this one that I sang, that was not my creation. That was created by someone else. I'm the vocalist. I arranged the vocal. I did the vocal arrangement and I sang it. I did do some jingles. One of them, I can't sing it. I have to show it to you.
Okay. Yes, you have to show it.
I have to, actually, I think Mahesh Babu and Prince Jamanan, both of them are there. It's one of the jingles I've done. It's for Lloyd AC, and that was done in Telugu and in Tamil, probably in Hindi also. But for Lloyd Air Conditioners and Mahesh Babu and Prince Jamanan did that.
Yes, ma'am.
But
Ma'am, Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please continue,
So,
ma'am.
but we were talking about not jingle. We were talking about independent music, which is original
Yes,
compositions. That's what we were talking about. That you should have
yes,
told me before. I could have made some of them ready, shared some of them.
ma'am. How music impacts a person's personal life? எந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு தாக்கத்தை ஏற்படுத்துதுன்னு நீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்க மேம்?
Have you ever met anybody who doesn't like music?
எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சவர் யாரும் இல்லைங்க மேம்.
I don't know that. Everybody has, I think, their personal taste. I might like something, somebody else might not like something else, but we all do like music in some or the other form. For most people, I think it's a stress buster, it's something you fall back onto, whether any emotion attached to life, which is pain, grief, sorrow, happiness, anger, anything. There's always a song for that. Have you noticed that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Failure, success, anything, any human emotion. You had a fight with your best friend, there's a song for that. You broke up, you maybe just broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, there's a song for that. You are waiting for somebody to walk into your life, and you know that whole anticipation, there's a song for that. So I think music it's probably one of those. Is it the only thing that makes such an impact on everybody's life universally across all languages? Yeah, I would say
Yes.
that is the one thing that makes an impact on everybody's life across the globe. Whether there's a human being, I mean, well, forget human beings. My cat, I've got 2 cats at home. They're my pets. They get impacted when I sit and do my practice, so they'll come and sit over there. Animals get impacted by music.
Yes, ma'am. All living creatures in this world are fond of music, as you said.
Yeah, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody.
Ma'am, what is your opinion on the importance of education? As you
Oh,
said, you had at the same time you had the formal education as well as the music and dance. So, how important is education?
extremely, extremely. I am somebody who says that no matter what profession, if you want an unconventional profession, especially in performing arts, please, for God's sake, get your degrees right. Whether your formal education is very important, because see, the thing is, in our country, music education or even a profession in fine arts, it's not an organized industry. Like in European countries, classical musicians, they get aids from the government, right? They have, their life insurance and, medical insurance. Then all of these, if you come to belong to a certain category of musicians, all taken care of. Like in Germany, I know that about Germany. A classical musicians to get taken care of. But in our country, it is not quite like that. So formal education is very important, because see, at the end of the day, I did that. I finished my BSc, and I always knew that no matter whether I become a doctor or I become a corporate person, or whether I choose music, I always knew this, that formal education would have to be achieved before that, or it has to go side by side. Seeing the situation that it is now is going to get worse. Quality of musicians are getting worse every day. If you ask me, honestly, quality of music and musicians is getting worse. Every year it is worse. So I don't know if somebody wants to choose music or performing arts or even fine arts. It's kind of a trial and error thing, right? You might click, you might not. So what happens if you don't click? Are you going to go back to your parents and say that, well, Dad, you have to support me? When I came to Chennai, I'll tell you what I did. I did the smart thing. I told you that I came from Bangalore, right? I had a job when I came here. I had a regular corporate job when I came here. And then, and I was also doing music side by side. I did about 4 albums with Kadri Gopalnath, Padmashri Kadri Gopalnath, right? Classical albums. Because I was still testing waters. Once I realized that, okay, so I can rely on my kitchen running on this work, I quit my job. But it did take me a while. And this is where formal education comes in. It also gives you a perspective, I think. It gives you a kind of grounding, a kind of security that tomorrow you will not be exploited or taken advantage of or misguided. It is just your own armor to protect yourself while you're still testing waters, let's put it like that.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there's a request from the students. So they want you to sing one full song, just of your interest. So there's a very, very big, lots of messages are coming to me. So they want me to convey this message to you.
Hey, I just sang the entire, not entire, actually one Pallavi and one Charanam of Megam.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So they're asking for one more song, ma'am, please. So they are pleading you. So it's a request.
Oh, well, let's see. Mhm. Okay, so how about Marilyn Monroe?
Yes, ma'am, please.
This is a song from, I'm using my Kanpur as a key reference. Baby, another me. Hey, baby, on DJ now. Por morir, morir, para morir, que dançar Hey, baby, another me. Hey, baby, on DJ now. Por morir, morir, para morir, que dançar Near Berlin, Monroe, clouding down, gentle officers carrying out. One day, Mountain Dog from Doveria. Near Berlin, Monroe, clouding down, gentle officers carrying out. One day, Mountain Dog from Doveria. Hey, rock and roll and Pilani rock song and let me Monori. Hey, Saturday night, party for Maria. Hey, Saturday night, party for Maria. Hey, baby, and love and be. Hey, baby, on DJ now. Morira, moripala, moricate, and sanguido. Hey, baby, and love and be. Hey, baby, on DJ now. Morira, moripala, moricate, and sanguido. கடற்கரையில் பீச் ஹவுஸ் இருக்கு பல ஊரில் ஃபார்ம் ஹவுஸ் இருக்கு பாபாம் டெலிகால் பண்றாங்க வரியா வரியா குளிர்னு கேப்பார் போட்டு சுட சுடன்னு காய்ச்சாறு போட்டு பாராறு நீங்கள் ஆடிட போலும் வரியா உல்லாசமா உற்சாகமா உண்டாடிடும் போது உன் வானத்தில் பல வானத்தில் தினம் தோன்றும் வேணும் வா 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 நீ மேலே மோரோ கோமிங்கா எல்லா ஜொலிப்பெல்லாம் பிசர் ஸ்கேனிங்கா One day மட்டும் பாப்பேன் வரியா. Hey Saturday night, பார்ட்டிக்கு போகலாம் வரியா. Just போடு பீனுக்கு செக் வைக்க முடியாது. நாளே வழியாகும். நெஸ்டோடு போலங்கும் நெஸ்டோடு கிடையாது. ஆஞ்சொன்னும் வீணாகும். நீ மேலே போனிங்கா எல்லாம் சொல்லித்தா one day மட்டும் friend வரியா.
Really enjoying the show. Ma'am, we have come to the end of the session. So final ஒரே ஒரு கேள்வி மேம். மேம், ஃபில்ம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்குள்ளே வரணும்னு நினைக்கிற யூத்துக்கு உங்களுடைய மெசேஜ் என்னங்க மேம்? எஸ்பெஷலி இந்த மியூசிக் ஃபீல்டுக்குள்ளே வரணும்னு நினைக்கிற யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு. நம்ம காலேஜில் நிறைய ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ வாட் இஸ் யுவர் மெசேஜ் மேம்?
Please learn music first. Please learn. I tell this to my students since I'm an educator myself. I've always been telling my students this: practice, learn. It is not something that you one day you wake up and say, my voice sounds very nice in the bathroom, so maybe I can be a professional singer. It is not like that. The way that you have to go through a technical education, it is same. You need to train yourself. There is no easy path to it. So before you decide that, okay, I'm going to be a professional singer, performer, please learn your craft. Spend some time, dedicate yourself with discipline, spend some time to learn this art organically. The way we have been doing it for donkeys of years. We all have, whether it's in Carnatic music or in Hindustani music, the Gurukulam, or what he called the Gurukul. There was a tradition of how music was taught. Learn it from somebody. And if you learn, and learning classical music, any form of classical music, Indian, Western, doesn't matter, any form of classical music always helps actually. Learn it before saying that I'm a singer, because I see a lot of people these days who kind of think that you can shortcut through it. There's no dearth of softwares to make you sound nice today. People who probably are interested, you would know about softwares like an Autotune or a Melody or pitch correction softwares which are there in dime and a dozen. They will not make you a good artist. You might just sound nice in a recording, because you might just fluke your way through or just make a shortcut or cheat your way through. But what happens when you want to take it up as a profession and be a stage performer? Then all these flaws are going to show, and they will show real bad. And hence, please learn it. Dedicate with dedication and discipline, and give yourself a few years before you say that, I'm done with learning. There's no end to learn. I call myself the constant student. I learn every day, no matter what it is. So learn this form of art if you want to take it up seriously. Bathroom singing is not going to cut it.
Yes, ma'am. Learning is a continuous process, as you said.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. So I hope I really enjoyed it, and the students they do really enjoyed it, and they
I hope
posted
they
their
did.
comments. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I can't see the comments though, but hang on, let me see. Oh my God, there's so many comments here.
Yes,
I didn't. Okay, let's just quickly go through them before we say bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, Janani, so many emojis. And okay. Thank you, everybody. Oh, thanks so much, all you guys. There are way too many. I can't go down. Oh, you're rocking our home. Oh. Wow, I wish I had seen these comments before, but wow, there are way too many. So many comments. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. It wouldn't be suffice if I say that this session was a spectacular hit with your segment. I would like to thank you on behalf of the institution for your esteemed time, effort, and performance spared for us. Thanks for making the session extra joyous and successful. I undoubtedly believe that all our students and audience will take, take back something from today's session. I also place my sincere thanks to the management, principal, dean of academics, administrative officer, and the staff of the Union Association of their valuable contributions and providing such a platform to bring about this program from a dream to reality. Dear ma'am, we'll soon get in touch with you. We'll meet up in the next session, ma'am. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
would love to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, dear students of VET Institute of Arts and Science, the link to post your attendance will now be shared in the chat box of YouTube. So it will be available for 10 minutes. So please post your attendance. So only then you will get your attendance. Thank you everyone. This session will now be terminated. Thank you and have a good evening.